Can you hear it? That still, small voice. The one that doesn't shout, doesn't demand, but gently beckons. I'm calling you deeper. Not louder, not busier, not higher, deeper. Into the quiet places where my presence rests. Into the sacred depths where your soul remembers who it is. And who I am. You've walked with me, but I am drawing you further still. Not because where you are is wrong, but because there is more. More of me, more peace, more clarity, more power, but it will not be found on the surface. It waits in the deep. And I'm whispering now. Come. There are places in your heart I long to touch. Rooms you've kept locked. Wounds you've tried to hide. Fears you've named wisdom. But I know them all. And I do not come to shame you. I come to heal you. I do not come to rush you. I come to restore you. The deeper waters are not to drown you, but to awaken you. You've felt it lately, the restlessness, the longing, the holy ache that tells you the shallows no longer satisfy. That your rhythms have become routine, your prayers memorized, your spirit quietly weary. That is me, stirring you. I disturb your comfort not to frustrate you, but to invite you. Do you remember what it was like when my presence was your treasure? When one whisper from me could still your chaos? When you would pause everything just to hear me breathe peace over you? That was the beginning, but I am not finished. I am not a memory. I am moving now, and I want to move in you. This is not a rebuke. This is an invitation to come back, to go further, to step beyond what you know and walk by what I reveal. To leave behind what you've outgrown and receive what I've prepared. The deep places are not for the faint of heart, but for those whose hearts faint without me. You've asked for more. You've prayed for breakthrough. You've longed for clarity. But the answer will not rise in your striving. It will emerge in your surrender. Not in the noise, but in the stillness. I'm not asking for performance. I'm asking for presence. Yours, undivided, unrushed, unmasked. I am calling you deeper not because I am far, but because you've settled. You've stopped short of the wellspring. You've lived at the edge of glory. And I'm inviting you into its center. Into the place where revelation flows like rivers. Where healing saturates like rain. Where identity is not declared by effort but unveiled by intimacy. Come away with me. Let the noise fall away. Let the expectations dissolve. I want to meet you in the deep. Not the dramatic. Not the visible, but the eternal, the unseen, the place where my whisper becomes your oxygen, where my truth becomes your anchor, where my love becomes your home. You've been busy building, serving, doing, but I am calling you to be, to sit at my feet, not just work in my name. Martha, you've done much, but Mary has chosen the better thing, and I'm inviting you to choose again. Choose rest over rush, choose depth over display. Choose me. In the deep, there is no audience, no applause, only me, but it is there I reveal the secrets of my heart. There I soften the hardened places in you. There I refine your desires and align them with mine. You say you want to be used by me, but do you want to be known by me? The deeper you go, the more your strength gives way to surrender. That is not failure. That is freedom. For when you are weak, then I am strong. The deep is not for your ego. It is for your encounter. For when the waves rise and the storms howl, you will not be shaken, not because of your grip, but because of mine. Come to the water where your titles dissolve, where your worries are silenced, where your striving finally rests. I'm not measuring your worth. I'm ministering to your wounds. And I will meet you where the surface ends. Let go of needing to be seen. Let go of needing to be right. Let go of needing to impress me. I already love you. You've heard my name, but I want you to know my nature. Not just my miracles, but my mind. Not just my promises, but my presence. I want to lead you into the kind of intimacy that rewires how you see everything. Where trust is no longer a struggle, it's your starting point. But to walk in this depth, you must leave the familiar, the shallow faith, the scripted responses, the fear-based obedience. I'm calling you into raw trust, into holy honesty, into the kind of surrender that frightens your flesh but feeds your spirit. I see how tired you are. You've carried burdens I never asked you to hold. You've tried to prove what I've already promised. You've run on empty, thinking it was noble, but I didn't call you to burn out, I called you to burn bright. And light is kindled in the deep. So pause, breathe, listen. This is not a message for your mind, it's a whisper to your soul. I'm not giving you another task. I'm giving you a touch, a moment, a shift. Let your heart respond, not with striving, but with stillness. I am here. I've always been here. And now, I'm calling you deeper. Deeper is not darker. Deeper is not distant. Deeper is divine. It is where your questions find peace even before they find answers. It is where your identity is shaped not by opinion but by eternal truth. It is where you begin to live from my voice instead of for validation. I've seen you searching, in the podcasts, the pages, the preachers, but have you searched my heart? Have you come to me not just for solutions, but for stillness? I don't want you to just quote me, I want you to encounter me. And encounters are born in the deep. The river of my spirit is not stagnant. It flows, and where it flows, everything lives. But you cannot stand ankle deep and expect to be transformed. You must step in, waist deep, heart deep, spirit deep. Let go of the bottom. Let me carry you. I know that trust feels costly. You've been disappointed before. You've prayed prayers that felt unanswered. You've been hurt by people who claimed my name. But I am not them. I am not absent. I am not indifferent. I am not distant. I am the God who sees, who stays, who speaks. And right now, I am speaking to you. Not through thunder, not through trembling mountains, but through this moment, this whisper, this breath. Let the walls fall. Let the masks slip. You don't need to pretend here. I know you, and I still want you. There are depths of love you've never swum in, depths of healing you've never tasted, depths of purpose you've never perceived. But I see it all, and I am calling you into it. Not tomorrow, now, not when you feel ready, but when you say yes. So if you're weary, come. If you're afraid, come. If you're unsure, come deeper. And if these words are stirring something in you, pause with me here. Let this be a sacred interruption. If this whisper has met your heart today, I invite you to walk with me further. And if this message has blessed you, take a moment to share it with someone you love. Like, comment, and subscribe so that the word keeps flowing, reaching those whose hearts are also hungry for depth. You are not alone in this journey. Let us go deeper together. Let your heart stay open. Don't rush past this invitation. The surface will call you back, emails, schedules, demands. But this space, this sacred silence, is where I'm doing my deepest work. Not in the noise, but in the knowing. Not in performance, but in presence. I'm not forming leaders who perform. I'm forming lovers who abide. Those who carry my presence into boardrooms and bedrooms, into cities and silence, into pain and into praise. But to carry me well, you must first dwell with me deeply. You want to see mountains move? Then sit with me in the valley. You want to walk in power? Then walk with me in obscurity. You want to hear my voice in public? Then respond to my whisper in private. Depth is not about status. It's about surrender. The more you let go, the more you will receive. The deeper you go, the clearer you'll see. Not everything around you will change, but everything within you will. Fear will give way to faith. Anxiety will melt into trust. And striving will bow to surrender. This is where clarity is born. Not in the brightness of external success, but in the stillness of my gaze. I see you, not for what you do, but for who you are becoming in me. And I like what I see. Not because you've earned it, but because I designed it. Let that truth sink in. I am not calling you deeper to test you. I am calling you deeper to transform you. You've prayed for new levels. But new levels require new layers of letting go. This is not punishment, it is preparation. Not for a platform, but for pure communion. And communion is not a concept, it is a way of living. It is walking with me in the unseen moments, choosing me in the private tension, trusting me when nothing makes sense. This is what changes you, not information, but intimacy. You were made for this. The deep, the rich, the holy, the hidden, the anchored life. The life that does not sway with trends or chase after applause. The life rooted in my presence. I am here, still calling, always calling, and I will not stop until your heart is fully mine. You may wonder why this calling comes now. It's because I see what you cannot. I see the storms ahead. But I also see the strength I am forming in you. I see the opportunities, but also the distractions. I see the blessings, but also the burdens. And in the deep, I prepare you for both. You don't need to be afraid of the deep. You need to be afraid of a shallow life. A life lived on empty routines and religious language. Void of wonder and devoid of power. I have not called you to imitate others. I have called you to be immersed in me. Let me strip away the noise. Let me quiet the clamor of what others expect from you. Let me draw you into the cave of revelation. Like Elijah, into the boat of faith. Like Peter, into the garden of surrender. Like Jesus, these were not places of escape. They were places of encounter. And in every encounter, identity was revealed, purpose was refined, fire was kindled. That is what I'm doing now. In the stillness, in the whisper, in this holy pause, I'm writing something eternal on your spirit. Something that will not fade with seasons or be shaken by circumstance. The deep is where endurance is built, where motives are purified, where confidence is redefined, not as boldness in self, but as boldness in me. You are not being led into the deep to be overwhelmed, but to be overcome by grace. So walk with me here, not just in moments, but in rhythm. Let this become your lifestyle, abiding, not just visiting, listening, not just speaking, receiving, not just reaching. This is the place of overflow, the place of sacred simplicity. When you know me deeply, you live differently. You love without fear. You forgive without delay. You serve without striving. You lead without ego. Because you no longer draw from your own well, you drink from mine. And my well does not run dry. Let these words be more than beautiful. Let them be foundational. Let them rebuild the ruins of routine and restore the wonder of walking with me. Let the weight of religion fall off. And let the breath of my spirit lift you. I am not calling you deeper to drown you in doctrine, but to delight you in my nearness. To awaken what was dormant. To stir what was silent. To remind you that life is not measured by metrics, but by moments with me. You've measured success by growth, but I measure it by grace. You've chased outcomes. I'm teaching you to cherish obedience. You've asked me for assignments. I'm offering you awareness. I want to walk with you before I work through you. Because in the deep, what matters most comes into focus. You see how little the world can give and how much I have already poured out. You stop trying to fix yourself and start learning to be formed by me. I am the potter. You are the clay. Let me shape you again. Let me press into the places that have hardened. Let me water the soil of your spirit until the dry ground yields again. There is fruit in your future. But roots must go deep first. And roots are not seen. They grow in dark, silent places. Places where no one claps. But heaven celebrates. Places where the hidden becomes holy. Where character is crafted in the quiet. You are not behind. You are being built. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. You are not delayed. You are being deepened. And every moment in my presence is preparation. Even if it feels like pause. Stay with me. Don't rush back to the surface. Let me finish what I've started. Let me show you what's next, not by revealing a plan, but by revealing more of me. Because I am the destination. I am the reward. I am enough. I know the voices that compete for your attention. The urgency of now. The pull of expectations. The weight of decisions. But in the deep, those voices are quieted. In the deep, you remember that one whisper from me outweighs the shouts of the world. You don't need all the answers, you need alignment. You don't need a new opportunity, you need my oil. You don't need another open door, you need deeper discernment. And discernment is sharpened in my presence. Where distractions die and devotion deepens. Many will choose the shallow path because it feels safer. But you are not many. You are mine, and I am leading you by a narrow road. Not to limit you, but to liberate you from what numbs your spirit. In the deep, your appetite changes. You no longer crave approval. You hunger for presence. You no longer chase success. You pursue surrender. You no longer settle for information. You long for impartation. This is where fire falls. Not on the polished, but on the prepared. Not on the perfect, but on the present. And your presence with me is your preparation for what I'm releasing next. Do not despise the hidden seasons. Do not rush the quiet chapters. I'm not wasting your waiting, I'm working in it. Every unseen yes is building eternal weight. Every whispered prayer is being held in my hands. I see you. I hear you. I am near. And I am not finished. You were never meant to carry this alone. I am your portion, your guide, your source. I am the voice beneath the surface, calling you deeper still. Follow me there, and you will never thirst again. You don't have to force the next season. You just have to follow me into it. The way forward is not through frantic movement, but through faith-filled stillness. In the deep, I move without noise. I heal without spectacle. I shift atmospheres with a breath. This is not about elevation, it's about excavation. I'm digging deeper in you to build something unshakable, something eternal. You've asked for anointing, but oil only flows where the crushing has happened. You've asked for clarity, but clarity comes where clutter is cleared. I'm clearing the clutter now. The mental noise, the soul fatigue, the spiritual fog. I'm breathing clarity where confusion has clouded your sight. But you must stay long enough to see me. I am not found in haste. I am found in hunger. And you are hungering again, not just for purpose, but for presence, not just for miracles, but for me. That hunger is holy. Do not ignore it. Do not silence it with substitutes. Let it grow. Let it pull you from the surface and into the still waters. There is nothing in the shallow that compares to what I've prepared in the deep. You've tasted my goodness, but there's more. You've glimpsed my glory, but there's more. You've walked with me, but I'm calling you to run in step with me. Not ahead, not behind, beside me. I know what it cost you to keep going. I see the tears you cried that no one else noticed. I heard the prayers you whispered when you felt forgotten. I was with you. I never left. And now, I'm doing a new thing, not just around you, but within you. So let me finish it. Let me fill the hollow places. Let me breathe into the dry bones. Let me awaken the wonder again. This is not the end, it's a beginning. A deeper one. One marked not by control, but by communion. Not by fear, but by fire. Not by effort, but by encounter. The days ahead will require depth. Shallow faith will not sustain you. Second-hand revelation will not carry you. You must know me for yourself. Not just know about me, but walk with me. Lean on me. Abide in me. I'm calling you to build an altar. Not just a platform. To become a well. Not just a wave. To be so rooted in me that when the winds come, you do not break, you bow. And rise again stronger. This is how I prepare my messengers. In the deep. In the quiet. In the fire. Not to make you famous, but to make you faithful. Not to elevate your name, but to seal mine upon your spirit. You were not created to echo culture. You were formed to carry my voice. To speak when I speak. To move when I move. To live in rhythm with heaven's heartbeat. And heaven is calling now. Not with urgency that provokes fear, but with invitation that awakens purpose. I am not looking for noise, I am looking for nearness. I am not seeking performance. I am seeking people who will carry my heart. So yield again. Choose again. Say yes again. Not just with your words, but with your ways. Let your life become an echo of surrender. Let your routine reflect your reverence. Let your heart stay tender before me. The deep is not a destination, it's a dwelling place. A continual communion. A life lived close. Undivided. Unhurried. And when you live from that place, you become unshakable. Not because storms stop, but because your anchor holds. I'm calling you deeper, and I will not stop calling. I will whisper until your soul responds. I will draw until your spirit awakens. And when you come, you will find not pressure, but peace. Not judgment, but joy. Not burden, but beauty. Come, deeper still. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not disqualified. These are lies whispered by fear and shame to keep you from responding to my voice. But I silence them now. I cancel their permission to define you. You are mine, and I am calling you deeper not because of your perfection, but because of your pursuit. I see the steps you've taken, the quiet yes, the trembling prayer, the surrender when no one else applauded. I was there for every moment, and each one built a pathway into my presence. You have not wandered too far. You have not failed too deeply. I have been walking beside you in every valley, waiting for your eyes to turn again toward me. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the need to understand everything. I do not move according to your clock. I move according to my wisdom. And in the deep, you will find that waiting is not wasted. It is woven into your becoming. You think you need to do more, but I am asking you to become more. Not more impressive, not more capable, but more still, more surrendered, more aware, because in the stillness, I will speak what striving cannot hear. There are layers I want to peel back, not to expose you, but to restore you. There are dreams I want to breathe life into again. Desires you buried because disappointment crushed them. But I never forgot. I held them, and I've been preparing the soil of your heart for resurrection. The deep is where resurrection begins. Not in the spotlight, but in surrender. Not in applause, but in intimacy. This is where I breathe new life into dry places. Where I mend what others shattered. Where I renew what time tried to decay. You do not have to understand to enter. You just have to trust. Take me at my word. Let your feet move before the miracle. Let your yes come before the outcome. Faith is not the absence of mystery, it's the presence of me in the midst of it. I am not asking you to leap, I'm asking you to listen. I will guide you step by step. I will teach you how to hear again, how to sense my leading, how to follow my rhythm, not the rhythm of pressure and noise. But to do that, you must slow down, turn down the volume, make space for silence. That's where I'll meet you. I won't shout over your distractions, I'll wait for your attention. And when you give it, you'll find me already there, waiting. This is not about a moment of inspiration. This is about a life of communion. A journey into me that doesn't end with a prayer, but begins with one. Let me take you beyond what's predictable, past what's comfortable, through what's unfamiliar, and into what's holy. Because the deep is holy. The place where tears become prayers. Where weakness becomes worship. Where your scars become stories of healing. Where your obedience becomes overflow. I'm calling you deeper not just for your sake, but for those I've assigned to your voice. You will carry something from this place that others will drink from. You will become a well, a living word, a resting place for my presence. Come, beloved, I am ready when you are. You have asked for clarity, and I am answering not with explanation, but with invitation. I am not offering you a map, I am offering you my hand. I am not showing you the next 5 years. I am asking you to trust me for the next 5 steps. Because deeper trust is not built on details. It is built on presence. And I am present, here and now. You are safe to release the questions. Safe to surrender the timelines. Safe to lay down the expectations you placed upon yourself. I never asked you to be everything to everyone. I asked you to abide in me, and let me become everything in you. Let me remind you, I am not hurried. I am not anxious. I am not surprised by where you are. And I am not limited by what you lack. I am the God who brings beauty from ashes, rivers in the desert, life from death. I do not need perfect conditions, I simply need your yes. In the deep, your priorities shift. You stop measuring progress by visibility. You begin to discern growth by intimacy. You no longer ask, how far have I gone? But, how close have I drawn? Because in my presence, what looked like delay becomes design. What felt like silence becomes strategy. And what appeared like loss becomes preparation for glory. This is the mystery of my way. I prune before I release. I strip before I clothe. I quiet before I commission. Not to punish you, but to anchor you. To ensure that when I elevate, you don't crumble. That when I speak through you, you don't lose yourself in the sound. That when I pour out through you, you're not emptied, but sustained. You've seen glimpses of what I've placed in you. But there's more. There are wells inside you that haven't been tapped yet. Gifts you haven't discovered. Depths you haven't explored. Not because you're behind, but because you're being built brick by brick. Moment by moment. Whisper by whisper. This is not the season to compare. It is the season to be carved. Let me shape you in the deep, where no one sees. Because what I form in secret, I will reveal in season. And when I do, it will not be fragile. It will not falter. It will flow with heaven's authority because it was born in heaven's chambers. I see the battles you fought in silence. The nights you laid awake asking if you were still in my will. I see the moments you wanted to quit, but chose to stay. And I honor every yes, every surrender, every tear. None of it was wasted. All of it has been seen. And all of it is producing weight, glory weight. So do not despise the deep. It is not the place of delay, it is the place of destiny. The soil of becoming, the cradle of encounter, the training ground of the trusted, the birthing place of revival, not the revival that begins on stages, but the one that begins in hearts. Your heart is the altar I desire. Not your output, not your outcome. You, fully yielded, fully known, fully loved. That is revival. And that is why I'm calling you deeper. Come closer, child, not with your performance, not with your credentials, just with your heart. I want you as you are. Not the polished version, not the version you think people expect, but the raw, real, reverent version, the one I formed in the secret place before time knew your name. The deeper I call you, the more I uncover, but not to harm you, to heal you, not to shame you, to sanctify you, not to expose you, but to expand you, because there is territory I've marked for you to inhabit. Not physical land, but spiritual authority. And it cannot be inherited through convenience. It must be cultivated through communion. You've known me as Savior. You've known me as Provider. Now I want you to know me as Companion. As the one who walks with you in the cool of the day. As the one who waits in the quiet room. As the one who speaks when no one else has the words. Let go of the need to have it all together. You were never called to impress me. You were called to walk with me. I am not evaluating your efficiency. I am longing for your attention. My voice is not a reward for performance. It is a gift to those who pause. This is not the end of your story. It's the uncovering of its truest chapter. The one where your roots go so deep that storms only reveal how anchored you really are. The one where fear no longer calls the shots. Because love has cast it out. The one where clarity comes not from striving, but from staying. Stay with me, here, in the unhurried, in the unfiltered, in the undivided place. This is where oil flows. This is where fire falls. This is where transformation begins, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. I am not finished forming you. I am not done revealing myself to you. And as deep calls to deep, I will answer the ache in your chest with the fullness of my presence. I will draw near to the very place that felt abandoned. I will pour water on the desert and light upon the dark. You are not alone in the deep. I am already there. I go before you. I prepare the way. And I place my hand on your shoulder now. Not with pressure, but with peace. Not to push you, but to guide you. You were born for more than you've seen. And the more you seek is not a destination, it is a person. It is me. I am the more. I am the miracle. I am the deep. So come, child. The invitation is open. The waters are waiting. And I am still calling you deeper. You've walked long enough with surface prayers and shallow patterns. But I'm inviting you to build a life that flows from the deep. To rise from roots, not routine. To lead from overflow, not emptiness. You were not created to live reactive. You were designed to live responsive to my spirit. The deeper life is not glamorous. It's not always understood, but it is full of me. And where I am, there is fullness of joy. There is peace that passes understanding. There is strength made perfect in weakness. There is purpose hidden beneath pressure. And there is glory in the groanings that words cannot express. I have not forgotten the words you've spoken in your private pain. I have not ignored the fastings, the weeping, the pressing. I have collected every drop, every moment, every longing. and I will not leave your hands empty. I am the God of restoration. But before I restore, I refine. Before I elevate, I establish. I am establishing you in the deep. Not in platforms, not in popularity, but in presence. Because what is built on charisma will crumble. But what is rooted in communion will carry through generations. You were not born to impress the world. You were born to carry my breath. I want to be your first thought, not your last resort. I want to be the voice that calms your inner storms, not the echo you run to after your own strength fails. I want to be your daily bread, not your occasional visit. So let me lead again. Let me slow you down. Let me hold the pieces you've tried to keep together. You don't have to fix what I'm healing. You don't have to strive for what I've already promised. Let my peace be the proof of my nearness. And as you walk into the deep, you'll notice something shifting. You won't need to fight for attention. You'll be content in hiddenness. You won't need to prove your worth. You'll know you are loved. You won't need the next answer. You'll live from the last whisper. Let that whisper guide you. Let it call you out from the busyness into the beauty. From the shallows into surrender. From reaction into rhythm. My pace, my flow. This is where you will find rest. Even when nothing around you is restful. You'll stop fearing failure because you'll realize I never asked you to succeed, I asked you to stay. You'll stop performing because you'll learn I never needed your show, I wanted your surrender. You'll stop striving to be whole because you'll recognize you are already being made whole in me. And you will carry this depth. In your voice, in your silence, in your actions, in your waiting, you will become a witness of what it means to walk with me in the deep. Others will notice, not because you try, but because my presence will be undeniable. This is your inheritance, not just a moment of encounter, but a lifestyle of abiding, not just a memory of breakthrough, but a legacy of presence. I am calling you deeper, not once, not temporarily, but for life. And every time you wonder if you're still on the path, listen again. I'll still be whispering. I'm still calling you deeper. Even now, as you listen, my spirit stirs within you. Not for a fleeting moment of emotion, but for a lifelong transformation. This is not a temporary encounter, it is a turning point. A threshold. The veil is thinning, and I am drawing you through it. You do not need to be perfect to step forward. You just need to be willing. The deep is not for the fearless, it is for the faithful. For those who tremble and still say yes. For those who don't feel ready, but choose to trust. That's who I'm calling. So take the step. Sit with me in the early hours. Walk with me in the quiet corners of your day. Talk to me not as an obligation, but as a friend. Let me become your rhythm, your oxygen, your resting place. Because in the deep, I will sustain you. And when the world calls you to perform, remember, I've called you to remain. When anxiety tempts you to run, remember, I've called you to rest. When distraction pulls at your focus, return to this place, this well, this whisper. I'm not done with you. I never was, and I never will be. My calling doesn't expire. My grace doesn't run out. My voice doesn't fade. It calls, it draws, it stays. I'm calling you deeper, and I always will.